Welcome Ji. Let's start Kotlin tutorial. Today I am going to discuss how we can write data classes in Kotlin. What are the syntax and semantic? What are the prerequisites for these classes? And why we need a data class. Okay. So before data classes, we already know how the concise syntax semantic Kotlin offer to create a class. Okay, so sometime we need to write a class that the main purpose of that class that would be holding a data. So in generally in the case of generally this is one class is the employee. The employee have a name, ID, age, salary, department. These are the value. These are the value generally placeholder. Employee class is a placeholder to store the employee related data. So for that purpose, for this purpose, generally we can write a class. So sometime we have to write some setter method for each field, getter method for each field, equals methods for each fields, has code methods as well as, and the constructor as well as, and your some other function. So generally all these class methods manually we have to write for your classes. So Kotlin is so concise, so offer you don't need write a setter getter for the variables. You can directly access from your property name. But sometime you have to write your equals method, your hash code methods, your copy methods. So these methods are required for all the data classes. So generally developer have to write all these classes, all these methods in this class. So Kotlin offer a special kind of class known as a data class. Just you indicate, just you indicate this is the simple syntax semantic of your class, and just you add one modifier known as a data. Now the Kotlin, so this user class is a data class. So all the prerequisite methods like your setter getter method, your equals method, your hash code methods, your copy methods, and your other functions required, they are automatically offered to you. So you don't need write manually. So let's example write a class employee employee class. The general employee class might have your ID and your name, string, might have a age. So in generally, we are writing a classes in Kotlin, and you can use well employee one equal to, you can say, employee and offer all the like your ID one, name, Sam is 45. So in this way, employee one created. And if you try to print ln, then you have to write employee one. When you run this program, in generally this class does not offer any kind of a toString method. So you as a developer are going to write. Is it feasible? Kotlin offer for same. So Kotlin say instead of writing this class, you can just write a data class. Now take the differences. Now you don't need to write some default method. Now your output is your overridden by toString method. In this employee class, you are not providing, but Kotlin compiler offer for you. So this is the way, and you can here check this method also. You have a all the you can get age, age, name, copy constructor, equals method, hash code method, each and every method they offer for you. You don't need to override hash code. You are getting a hash code of this. So this is your hash code. So these are the benefit we are getting if you are mark your any general class as a data class. So you don't need to manually override some set of methods. Which set of methods? So these are the so Kotlin compiler automatically derive the following members from the all the property declared in the primary constructor. So noted down these methods like your equals method, your hash code method, your toString methods, your components methods, or your copy functions are only valid for those property that it declare inside your primary constructor. So in Kotlin, you can declare some variable like salary, okay, int. So this your this variable is your not the part of your primary constructor. Primary constructor have a id, name, and age. So only these three properties are considered for your equals method, hash code methods, and other. So this is the all the property declare in the primary constructors. Okay. For that, for those, these methods are Kotlin compiler automatic offer in your class. Equals method, hash code method, toString method, component means one component, and here means component 1, component 2, component 3. Okay, corresponding the property that in declare order of the declaration. Okay, what do you mean? Here first id, then name, then bell. If you say here println and say employee employee one dot component one, component two, component three, the two, this three. In this way, this is your component one id, component two name, component, you can say id equal to, okay, name, okay, age. So these are your component function. Component is the just define all the property inside your constructor. The same order. This is order one your ID, same, and this. So these are your component function. And similarly, you have a copy function as well as. So these are the added benefit you are getting in your class by default when you are going to make any class in a Kotlin as a data class. You don't need to write code for this. And to ensure the consistency and the meaningful behavior of the generated code, data class have to fulfill the following requirement. So whenever you are going to make the particular class as a data class, please be ensure there is a primary constructor need at least one parameter. They cannot say data classes with the default parameter without any argument. So, and all the primary constructor parameter need to be marked are val, read only, or bar keyword. So, data classes cannot be abstract and cannot be open, cannot be sealed, or cannot be inner. So, these are the pre can say condition file whenever you are going to change any class as a data class. Generally, sometime you write a class like a class user. This is the class, but this is the valid class in Kotlin. You can see well user equal to user. Okay, and you can print user. But this class you cannot make a data class. This is a valid user. But if you are trying to check this is the data class, this is the throw error. Data class must have at least one primary constructor parameter. So these kind of a prerequisite, please be ensure whenever you are writing, you are going to the change any class as a data class. Please, you have to at least one primary constructor with one argument. Okay, so you cannot do this way, but you can do this way. Similarly, as we discussed, property declare in the class body itself. So let's we have a one class person. Inside the person, you can declare any number of property. This is the age property, another property, and the property. But please be ensure compiler only use the property defined inside the primary constructor for the automatic generated functions like equals hash code. So for this, only property name will be used inside your toString method, equals method, and hash code methods. Okay, and similarly in our example, here we have a salary, but if you run, yeah, your primary constructor only have a this attribute, so this is the only part of your field, but this is the not for salary is the not a part of your toString. So please be ensure sometime you feel your classes can have some properties inside a primary constructor and some declare inside a class body itself. So these property will be not part of your auto generated functions, you like equals method, hash code method, copy method. Similarly, if you're talking about the copy, what do you mean by copy? To copy an object from changing some of its property. Sometime you have already created one object. You want to make a similar object, but not set all the property, but maybe one or two you want to set. So so in this way you can just copy from this to this. So copy an object from changing some of its property, but keeping the rest is unchanged. So use copy function. So generally what happens if this is your username, so name attributes are to name and age attributes are mapped to this. In this way internally copy function are implemented. For example, our case, let's say we have one user, so we have created one user name this and this. You can make a copy another, and you can just name should be same, but I want to age should be different. So here you can write like example class person. Let's we have a name string. Okay, and let's give we have a id. well well id. Okay, now let's say I create a well person equal to person. Here pass you say Smith and id is equal to 24. Let's age age. Okay, so here person one, person one age. Now you run, you are getting the person one. But sometime I want to create the same person is Smith, but age is a different. So instead of creating a, this should be your data class. Okay, this is, so here say we are just say pers well person two equal to I'm say ki person one dot copy. Okay, if you run directly, you are creating person two, but all the content will be the same. Okay, all the content will be the same, but you have options. You can here pass which attributes you want to change. The both are the same, person one and person two. Say I want to change like age, so you say age equal to 67, person three. So so in this way, this copy function help us. You can create a new object from a person one with the different attributes. Now this is the different attributes. So copy is help us to create a new object from the existing object. Okay, and sometimes we have a concept of the data class and the deconstructing declaration. Instead of sometime you can say "Okay, this is the John," you can declare a new variable John and create the object. But from here you can directly get in the form of your deconstructed value instead of one object. So here you can see, let's give a person here say instead say I have a let's give we have a name and age. Here you say person 3, and now from this object you are getting the first attribute and you are getting the second attribute. Now we can print name equal to $n and age equal to $a. And this is known as a object deconstructing. From object you are retrieving the specific value whatever you want. So these kind of also features support not on the regular classes but the your data classes as well as. So the all the component functions generated for data class are enabled to use in their deconstructor. This is your component 1, component 2. So these are the, you can say, concise form of writing a classes known as a data classes. Okay, so data class help us to write a class that hold the setup property, and with the setter method, with the getter method, equals method, your hash code method, your copy method, and your component method. These all set of functions is automatically available for you in your class if you mark your class as a data class. And so Kotlin offer, whenever you want to create a class, Purpose is holding a data, storing data. Please make as a data class, and you don't only declare the setup property, and all other things, all other required methods or function is offered by Kotlin itself. Hope it's useful for you. Thank you for watching this video.